in this part, I'm going to work on the hands and make them more relaxed during the animation so they're not so stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down the animation layers, create a new animation layer, and we'll rename that to hand fix. I'll come on the hands, I'll select the fingers, and I'll make sure I'm on the rotate manipulator. I'm going to hit the Q key real quick so I can select all of them. I'm going to make sure on the side of the viewport, I'm going to come up here and make sure I'm set to local right here. So if that is the case, that shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to go to rotate local. That should be good. And then I'm going to rotate the fingers a little bit, and then I'll press the S key to keyframe that a little bit. I could even come in here and maybe I'll take this last pinky here and rotate that just a little bit more with the ring finger and rotate that just a little bit more, and then I'll just hit the S key on each one of those. Let's see how that looks. That looks a lot more relaxed. I'm going to do the same thing over here on these fingers and make those relaxed. It looks like I selected this one by accident. Deselect it, and I'll select this one and relax those. And then I'll hit the S key, and then I'll select this last finger and relax that one and this one and press the S key on both of those. There we go. And then we'll work on the thumb. So I'll just take that and hit the S key on that one, and then I'll take this tip of the thumb and bring that in, hit the S key, and then even rotate that right in here just a bit and hit the S key. Do the same thing to the other thumb and rotate that and hit the S key and the S key. There we go. Well, maybe a little bit more on that thumb, just a little bit more. There we go. S key. Set that again with that S key. All right. And then now, hand looks a lot more natural. And then it hits the floor. There we go. What we can do here is right before it hits the floor. So right here we want the hands, the fingers to straighten out just a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is right before it hits, I'm going to set another key on all those fingers. So I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to hit the Q key so we can select them a little bit faster without the manipulator. And then I'll hit the S key. And I'll keyframe from frame 0 all the way to, I don't know, what is that, 45? And then here, right before it hits, we're just going to straighten them out. There we go. Straighten out the fingers a little bit more than others. So I'll just hit the S key, and then I'll just try to come in here and do a little bit more on certain ones. Right there. And hit the S key on those. And then over here, straighten those out. Set hit S key there. And then I'll straighten that out. S key. There we go. And then they straighten out, and then they pop back up. And we'll just curl them back up again. So I'll select each one. I'll hit the Q key. And I'll do the other hand. And I'll curl them once again. A little bit more. And then I'll hit the S key, and let's see how it looks at the end. It looks pretty good. So that takes care of the fingers, but this wrist over here on the right side is definitely bugging me. So it's like right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another animation layer, and I'll rename it. I'll just call it hand fix 1. And then right, so when it comes up, I want that hand. So right about 80. Frame 80. I'm going to set a key for that wrist. And right about there, I want it to come down. And I'll set a key for that. That's a little too fast, but that's a lot better there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that keyframe that I put at frame 80, I'm just going to drag that out just to like frame 72 and see how that looks. And it's just not, yeah, that's a lot more natural. So the great thing is you can select these keys and move them back and forth within Motionbuilder, and now that sets up a lot easier. So there's my hand fix. I'll select all of them and I'll merge them down. And there it is. And now I went in there and fixed the hands. Perfect. Looks pretty good. Now let's get this ready to export.